Yari mateys, welcome to another Chisamasu tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix your GameCube that is not reading disc and the disc isn't spinning, basically. So, the first thing that we're going to do is take a, I believe, 4.5 millimeter Gamebit screwdriver, which I got in a set that has one for Sega Genesis games and one for NES games. And yep, they're really long screws, so you just want to get those four out. And I'm not sure about the other smaller ones. I think that they might be the smaller size that this would work on if they're security bits. But if they're just regular screws, then you should be able to get them out. Or you can probably find some type of tool to get them out. But basically, the principle behind this fix is that the switch that the lid hits with a latch, the switch doesn't get hit. So that's why it doesn't think that the lid is closed and that it won't read your games or spin them. So I'm going to get all these screws out and then cut back to when I can get the top off. So once you have all four screws out, you're going to flip your GameCube over and then get the plastic top off, pull it out gently. And I would also recommend you to use some rubbing alcohol and like a rag or whatever. Wipe out, clean out the plastic top in here because there might be some dust or something that is stopping it from knowing that you're pressing the button. But where the button is at, here's the power button. Right here is the latch, which is very similar to a PlayStation 2 latch on the lid if you have one of those. So you can push that in with your finger, which is what we're going to do. We're going to hook it up to the TV, just like normal with the controller, and we're going to put our game in it, and then we're going to push this in with our hand manually, and the game should spin, and your laser should pop off and start trying to scan the disc. So at that point, it should read your game, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. So let's test this. So once we have our cube hooked up to our television, we're going to go ahead and turn it on with the power button right there. It's got a big spring on it. Should load up like normal. At this point, normally you would get, disc cannot be read or please insert a Nintendo Gamecube disc. So we're going to go over to the disc plays section, which, I'm sure you're familiar with this screen if you have this problem. So now I'm going to go ahead and get out some games to test out. The Wind Waker, a great game. And I'm going to put it in the disc drive like normal. And then I'm going to push that little latch light back there that I was talking about. I'm going to push it in with my finger. And then you see the laser scooted forward and started scanning the disc. The disc started spinning. And there it is, Wind Waker. And I'll test out a couple more games too with it. Luigi's Mansion, up to bat. Get that spin going, get that laser going. Reading disc. And Luigi's Mansion. Beautiful Joe, show me what you got. Reading disc. Spinning, reading disc. Yeah, get your go, baby. Sorry about that, but I think that's what Beautiful Joe says. It's hard to understand. So here's Beautiful Joe 2, another awesome game. Reading disc, spinning, lasers going, and Beautiful Joe 2. So now let's go ahead and take the GameCube back over to its station, put the lid back on, and you can take a rag, like I said, and wipe out stuff like these fans and around the switch specifically. I found that it helped me out because I think that the lid wasn't hitting it for some reason. But I also can tell you guys another solution for if you, for some reason, this is working when you push it in with your hand, but when you use the lid and close it, you still aren't getting any type of disc spinning and you aren't hearing the optical drive trying to read it. It makes like a beep noise when you try to get the game going. So I'll show you guys that solution soon. So yeah, if you guys were able to get your disc to read, that's great. You know that there isn't a problem with the disc and that there isn't a problem with the laser, that it's simply the console doesn't know that it's being closed. which is easy to fix. So I would recommend, like I said, to take a rag, wipe out around here, get all the dust out, maybe blow the dust out from the sides and in the fan, you know, just because why not? The thing probably hasn't been cleaned in like 15 years. So the lid, you can obviously wipe this down a bit. Most of it is plastic, but you can just take the lid, slip it right back on, and then you should be good to go. This right underneath here, when you close it, should hit the latch. And if for some reason you can't get it to hit the latch, what I would recommend to do, because I've done it with the exact same problem on a PlayStation 2, where it didn't know that the lid was being closed, take a piece of tape and just tape that sucker down. It'll think that it's always closed, but that means that it should always be spinning if you could get it to spin before when you took the top off and pressed it manually, if you get it to spin and read, but when you put the lid on, it won't spin and read. Piece of tape will do that job. It'll make it sure that it knows that it's closed, whether the lid is open or closed. So you can do that, but make sure that you turn off your console before game swaps, because it's just a stupid idea to put your game on mid-spin. I've done it with the PlayStation 2 before, and it has scratched my games up, so I would not recommend to do it while it's spinning. Make sure to power it off before swapping your games if you need to tape it down. But I'm pretty sure that it would work good on a GameCube, and if you're already this far in and you can't get this lid to work, I would say give it a shot and let me know if it works in the comments. Now once you slide your top back on, you just want to get all your screws and put them back in so that you can have your GameCube all tightened up and not falling apart when you take it places, because that's why it's got the lunchbox handle. Also, this is my model, the DOL001 USA NTSC, which is great because I live in America. So yep, go ahead and screw these back in, and once you get them all nice and tight, we'll move over to the next station, the television, and see if you can get it to read with the top on, because it might have just gotten misaligned over time and you needed to take the top off with the plastic and then put it back on, and then it starts hitting the switch again where it wasn't hitting it before. And if you still can't get it to work at that point, I would recommend the tape method, as I was just talking about, because it just perfectly makes sense to me. It doesn't do anything to the console, and you're just taping down a piece of plastic, just a plastic switch. So yep, we got her all nice and back together, where the lid, or not the lid, but the whole top portion of the console won't come off. So let's go ahead, grab her by the lunchbox handle, and head over to the TV. So now I got my lid back on there pretty tight. Let's go ahead and power the GameCube on, and of course grab a game for the Cube. So here I have a Sega game, Super Monkey Ball 2. It's a classic, So I'll go ahead and head over to the... Oh, I forgot to plug my controller in. So now we can head over to the gameplay section, get my disc out, pop it in my GameCube, and then I'm going to close the lid, and hopefully it still works, and hopefully the game will spin and that the disc will be read so that I can play it and not have to worry about taping down that switch. Alright, let's close it up. I'm hearing something. I'm hearing a spin, and I'm hearing a dee-dee-dee, which is good because that means it's getting read. There it is, Super Monkey Ball 2. So that is how you guys get the disc read error, disc not spinning error solved, and / lid not open, or lid not closed, So this has been Chisamasu. Hopefully you guys have been able to fix your childhood GameCubes, because I know that I thought mine was toasted. And luckily, just a quick take apart got it all fixed up. And luckily my latch still gets hit, so I don't have to tape it. But I know in the future that if something else does go wrong again, a piece of tape won't hurt anything to try. So, yep. I will see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment if you guys were able to fix your GameCube. If you guys are able to start playing again, I would love to know. And leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been Chisamasu. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye-bye.